She was in tears, humiliated, and escorted out of Rio's most exclusive charity gala by security, all because she was wearing a simple gown, a far cry from the glittering attire required for this luxurious evening. But moments later, when her billionaire husband made his entrance, the mocking faces of the socialites froze in cold horror. What happened next left the entire room speechless. Marina had walked determinedly through the golden doors of the Copacabana Palace. She was late. Roberto's speech would begin in a few minutes, and she had to find him. But no sooner had she set foot in the hall than she felt the change in the air, a shiver of disguised contempt. Eyes were already turning, sharp, appraising. Her navy blue dress, elegant but understated, stood out in this sea of diamonds and haute couture. Who let her in? A woman with scarlet lips whispered, giving a sly smile. Marina clutched her bag tighter. Her heart was pounding, but her step remained steady. They didn't know. They didn't know who she was. But they were about to find out the hard way. She pushed through the crowd, searching for Roberto's familiar face. Expensive perfumes mingled. With champagne bubbles, waiters glided between the immaculately uniformed guests. Eyes followed her, examined her, judged her. Look at her bag. Is it from last season? Whispered a woman in a red sequined dress, loud enough to be heard. His pearl-covered companion stifled a laugh behind her champagne flute. Marina squared her shoulders and lifted her chin. She wasn't ashamed, but the stares made her cheeks redden. She walked toward the grand staircase leading to the VIP section, where Roberto would be. Then a tall, blonde woman in a designer dress blocked his path. It was Veronica Mendez, wife of an influential banker and self-proclaimed queen of Rio's social scene. "Excuse me," Marina said politely, trying to get through. Veronica looked her up and down, a cruel smile on her lips. "This area is reserved for guests. The staff entrance is at the back." Marina's heart raced. "I'm not staff. I'm here for the gala." "Really?" Veronica replied, her voice dripping with contempt. "Do you even have an invitation?" Around them, conversations stopped. All eyes focused on them. "Yes," Marina replied, searching in her bag. But a friend of Veronica's, a slender woman with a smile, frozen by Botox intervened. Veronica, don't waste your time. She probably managed to get in to steal something. Security should be more careful about who they let in these days. The light from the chandeliers suddenly seemed too bright. The silence was heavy. Marina could only hear the beating of her own heart. "I have as much right to be here as you do," she said, her voice firm, though slightly trembling. Veronica burst into a dry, cruel laugh. "Look around you. This party costs $10,000 a ticket. People like you don't belong here." She pointed at Marina's dress. "What's this? Target? Walmart?" Laughter rose from the crowd. "My clothes don't define who I am," Marina whispered. "Oh, but they do," Veronica replied, her tone suddenly sharp. "They say everything we need to know about you, and they tell me you don't belong here." An elderly man in an expensive suit approached, looking worried, but not friendly. "A problem?" he asked. "Charles, that woman probably snuck in here." "By mistake. You should ask security to remove her. She's making everyone uncomfortable." Marina's eyes widened. "Please, let me explain." "It's useless," Veronica cut in. "Charles is a member of the committee. He knows all the guests. And clearly, you're not one of them." Charles looked at Marina, impassive. "Madam, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. This is a private event, but my husband—" Marina began. "Oh, now she has a husband?" Veronica sneered. "What's she going to tell us next?" "That she's married to Roberto Santos himself." A burst of laughter shook the room as Marina felt tears well up in her eyes. She had never meant to come to this. Roberto had always respected her desire to succeed on her own without ever using her name. A security guard approached, his face closed. "Madam, I have to escort you outside." The room seemed to spin around her, accusing stares piercing her from all sides. Her cheeks flushed with shame as the guard gently grabbed her arm. "Please," she whispered, a tear sliding down her cheek. "This is a mistake." "The only mistake was letting you in," Veronica said coldly. "Take it through the service entrance." "It's more appropriate." As the guard began to lead her away, Marina heard snatches of conversation, whispered but sharp. "Did you see the audacity? Did she really think she could come dressed like that? Definitely looking for a rich husband. Marina S shoulders slumped. Tears were flowing freely now. This was supposed to be the greatest moment of her foundation. But everything was crumbling. And yet, what happened next left the entire room speechless. The main doors of the great hall burst open with a sharp, precise click. A deathly silence fell instantly. The clinking of cutlery stopped. Conversations died in their throats. Every gaze turned, mesmerized, toward the entrance. Roberto Santos. His tailored black suit seemed to fit him like a second skin. Every detail exuded unattainable elegance. He wasn't in a hurry. He didn't need to be. The world was moving at his own pace. His dark eyes scanned the room with razor-sharp precision. And within seconds, they settled on she. Marina still held by. The guard. Silent tears streamed down her face. But her back remained straight, unshakable. Roberto's gaze hardened. A shudder ran through the room. The guard released Marina as if he had just touched a live wire. The atmosphere changed. An electric tension spread like wildfire. The most attentive guests understood immediately. Something was about to explode. Veronica instinctively stepped back. Charles cleared his throat, trying to save face, but the sweat on his forehead betrayed him. Roberto didn't raise his voice. He calmly adjusted his sleeves. Slow movements. Precise. Icy, dangerous. Then finally, he spoke. Low. Controlled. As sharp as a shard of glass. "Can someone explain to me. What's going on here?" The weight of his words sent shivers through the room. Veronica opened her mouth, but no sound came out. Marina, frozen, watched the faces around her. Decomposed. Roberto took a step forward. His footsteps echoed on the marble. Imposing, irresistible. The guests parted, like the waters before Moses. Cocktail glasses hung in the air. Even the music seemed to fade away as he passed. He arrived in front of Marina. Veronica forced a smile. Her honeyed voice sounded false. "Roberto, what a surprise." "We were just to humiliate my wife," he cut in coldly. A shocked murmur rose. Charles turned livid. Roberto approached Marina, gently wiped a tear from her cheek, then turned to the assembly. "Yes, Charles, my wife, Marina Santos, the founder of the Esperanza Foundation, the one you're supposed to be honoring tonight." Veronica's glass fell from her hands, shattering into 1,000 pieces on the floor. As a brutal end to his hypocrisy. It's impossible," she stammered. "She can't be the founder and CEO of the Esperanza Educational Network. But she was. And now everyone knew it. Roberto's voice echoed throughout the ballroom. "The woman who built schools in 27 FAVELA. The philanthropist who just won a $50 million grant from the United Nations. That's Marina Santos." His eyes narrowed. "Yes, it's her." Murmurs rippled through the room. Phones popped up everywhere. Guests were filming what was shaping up to be an unforgettable moment. But Roberto wasn't done yet. He turned to the crowd. "My wife doesn't wear luxury brands because she prefers to invest in computer labs for children who have never touched a keyboard. She doesn't cover herself in diamonds because she chooses instead to fund scholarships for girls who would never have had the chance to go to high school. Charles tented the intervenor. Roberto, there has been a misunderstanding. The only misunderstanding, Roberto interrupted, is believing that a person's worth is measured by their appearance, a mistake to which this council seems sadly accustomed. The event coordinator rushed over, her face ashen. Mr. Santos, we sincerely apologize. We did not know. And that's the whole point, isn't it? Roberto said, looking at Veronica and her friend, who were now trying to make themselves forgotten. You didn't know that the woman you called Lost is actually the owner of this hotel. The shock was immediate. Several council members let out a cry of shock. That's right, Roberto continued. Marina and I bought the Copacabana Palace last year. We thought it would be a worthy home for her foundation's projects. But today, I wonder if some of the board members truly share our values. Charles wiped his sweaty forehead. Roberto, I assure you that your assurances are worthless, Roberto said. Not after my wife was escorted out of her own building. An elderly woman with a noble bearing stepped forward. It was Donna Isabella Vasquez, Rio's most respected philanthropist. Marina, my dear, I didn't know you had arrived. Come on, your place is waiting for you at the head table. She gave Veronica an icy look. It seems that some people need a refresher in etiquette and recognition. Veronica's friend tried to slip away quietly, but tripped over her heel, falling flat on her face. Nervous laughter rippled through the room. The waiters rushed to help her. As for Veronica, she stood there frozen, mascara running down her cheeks. Marina, I didn't know. That's the problem with judging people, Veronica, Marina said, her voice calm but firm. You never really know who they are. Roberto placed his hand on Marina's lower back. The council will receive my official statement tomorrow. But for now, let us honor your foundation, my love. As Roberto and Marina walked toward the grand ballroom, the guests burst into spontaneous applause. The ovation swelled, muffling Veronica's sobs as she fled the stage, followed by Charles, clearly panicking at the thought of saving his reputation. The security guard who had tried to evict Marina was now standing straight, his face red with shame. Marina stopped in front of him and looked him straight in the eyes. It's easy to obey orders, she said softly, but it's much harder to challenge them when they're unfair. With that, Roberto and Marina entered the ballroom, greeted by a thunderous round of applause. Behind them, prejudices and false appearances lay on the ground like broken glass. In the weeks following that memorable evening, a profound change took place in Rio's social circles. The Copacabana Palace incident made headlines in many newspapers, denouncing hasty judgments and discrimination. Using this story as a telling example, many readers recognized themselves in it, and Marina, from her office, observed this transformation with silent serenity. As she examined her foundation's new projects, Marina glanced out the window. She saw children playing in the brand-new community center. Her response to the scandal hadn't been revenge, but something far more powerful, a deeper, more meaningful commitment. Madam, you have a visitor. Her assistant announced calmly. Veronica walked in, unrecognizable, none of the flashy jewelry she once wore. Her once arrogant eyes now shifted, staring at the floor like a child caught in the act. I came to volunteer? If you'd like to have me, she whispered, her voice trembling. Marina watched him for a moment. She thought back to her mother's words. True nobility of heart is knowing how to offer a second chance. The volunteers start at 7 in the morning, serving breakfast to the students. She replied simply. Veronica nodded, grateful that she wouldn't suffer further humiliation. Meanwhile, at the Copacabana Palace, the Board of Trustees was signing a new code of conduct prohibiting discrimination based on appearance. Charles had resigned. Donna Isabella had replaced him, and instituted sweeping changes to the charity event policy that would have made Eleanor Roosevelt proud. At the closing luncheon of the annual campaign, Roberto watched with emotion as his wife received a standing ovation. The event, broadcast nationally, had become a symbol, the need to judge less and act more, values deeply rooted in those who had not forgotten their own struggles for dignity. We must remember, Marina declared into the microphone, that a person's worth is not measured by what they wear, but by what they build for others. In the audience, a former student from her first school in the favelas was receiving her university diploma today. Ironically, at her side was the former security guard who had tried to evict Marina. Now the coordinator of the foundation's vocational training program. When Marina stepped off the stage, no further words were necessary. Her victory did not lie in the fall of those who had despised her, but in her ability to transform prejudice into a life project, and she had accomplished this with brilliance. The real achievement was not being recognized as the owner of a luxury hotel, but having inspired through her quiet dignity a wave of change that revenge could never have brought about, a lesson as timeless as the golden rule itself. My friends, as Marina's story draws to a close, tell me, have you ever been judged on your appearance? Perhaps you've walked into a store and been ignored by the salespeople, or attended an event where people jumped to conclusions about you because of your outfit, your accent. We've all experienced moments like Marina's. Some have held their heads high. Others have dreamed of having that courage. Your story matters too. Share your experiences in the comments. How did you handle being misjudged? What would you have done in Marina's place? Your story could be just what someone needs today. If Marina's story resonated with you, please subscribe and like our channel. Here, we celebrate stories that remind us that true greatness isn't hidden behind luxury labels. But in how we treat each other. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Sometimes life's greatest lessons come when you least expect them, like that unforgettable night at the Copacabana Palace. And you, where are you watching us from? From bustling New York? From sunny Florida? Or perhaps from another corner of our magnificent country? Let us know. Together, let's create a space where dignity trumps judgment, where your experiences become sources of inspiration for others. See you soon for a new story. And remember, you are of inestimable value.